Hello everybody and welcome to Nick's Stream. Today we're going to be looking at some of my Nintendo Switch accessories. Let's check it out. Hello everybody, welcome back. Before we get started, if you could hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already, we'll get into this. Alright, starting off, we're going to start with the easy stuff, the simple stuff, the most boring stuff. First things first, the thing that everybody has, my Nintendo Switch Pro controller. This controller is pretty fantastic. My only complaint about it is probably the D-pad doesn't work the best. I don't know what's wrong with it, but you hit left or right, and sometimes it'll go up or down. But otherwise, no, it's a pretty amazing controller, very comfortable. The analog sticks are great. Fantastic controller. Now we have my Nintendo Switch carrying case, which is the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild case. I actually bought this case a week before the Switch came out because Walmart had them out on display a week before, and I picked it up before the actual system. It's a pretty good case. Open it up here. It's got a nice basket to put your Switch in, and you can hold 14 games in this thing. So that's pretty cool. Next, I have my atomic purple housings for my launch Joy-Cons that came with the system. When I got the system, all the neon Joy-Con systems were all sold out. So I ended up with the gray system. So I wanted to make it a little bit more interesting, so I got the atomic purple housings for these guys, and it looks pretty nice. In retrospect, I probably would have preferred to leave the default button colors back in, because these colored ones, it's hard to see the letters, and it looks like they're starting to wear off now as well. Next up, I have my neon yellow Joy-Cons. Now these are the Joy-Cons which launch at the same time as ARMS launched. Like I said before, my gray Joy-Con I thought were boring. I wanted to get something cooler, more interesting, so when these guys came out, I picked them up. The only other pair of Joy-Cons I want to get now are the Halloween colored ones. I can't wait. I gotta get those at some point. The orange and purple ones, so look into that. Next up, we have my Zelda PDP controller. You can see this in a previous video of mine. If you open it up here, you can see it. Very good controller. D-pad is alright. It's not the best. Otherwise, it's pretty much shaped the same as the regular Pro controller. This one does not have lithium battery. It is AA's, which could be good or bad, depending how you look at it. And it's got these buttons on the bottom which you can map the face buttons to, so this way you don't have to remove your right thumb from the analog stick to press something. Next up, I have my Joy-Con charging grip. Now I picked this up when I picked up my second set of Joy-Cons so I could charge them easy, because you only have one area to charge them. Otherwise, it's identical to the grip that comes with the system, except for it's got this USB-C charge port on top. Next up, I have my NES Online NES controllers, which charge through the sliding rail. I have an unboxing of this on my channel. I'll put the link down below for you to check it out. These things are great. They feel exactly like the original NES controllers. The only issue I have with them is if you don't use them for a while, the batteries will die if you don't charge them. So sometimes they'll be thrown in my controller basket, and it's like, oh, I need to pull them out and play an NES game. Oh, they're dead. Can't use them. So it's just kind of annoying that they don't hold a charge, which kind of sucks. Next up, I have my Spark Fox Comfort Grip with game storage. Now this little guy is pretty cool because he is essentially a really cheap alternative to the Satisfy grip for your Switch. It makes it way more ergonomic and comfortable. It's not as good as the Satisfy grip, but it's significantly cheaper. I got this one off AliExpress for $6, as opposed to, I believe, the Satisfy grip on Amazon is going to go 40 or 45. So it's a huge cost difference between this and that. Like I said, it's not as good, but it's got a nice little storage area at the top here to place games if you want to place games in there. It's pretty good. For $6, you can't complain. Next up, to solve an issue that I have with the Switch when I want to play side-scroller indie games in handheld mode, is I got the Hori D-pad Joy-Con, as you can see here, which is an awesome D-pad. The controller feels like it's made with the same parts as the regular Joy-Cons. This is the Zelda version. The D-pad is awesome on this thing. I absolutely love the D-pad on it. Only issue with it is it doesn't have a battery in it, doesn't have rumble in it, so they took all the guts out. So you can only play with this guy connected to your system. You can't play it wirelessly, but at the same time, if you play wirelessly, you might as well just use another controller got a D-pad on, right? Next up, I have a Nintendo Switch system stand. I don't really use this thing. I picked it up when I went on a trip at one point, and then after using it for a bit on the trip, I ended up just buying another dock because, you know, I don't know, it's okay. It's just, it's not really any use for it. Next up, now I'm going to show you that I have an extra dock. Now, I love having an extra dock. It was definitely worth the investment. It's awesome for traveling. You can keep it in your travel case if you want to bring it around. But the main reason why I like having it is I have it on my secondary TV, and I can swap, just bring the system up and down as I please. No big deal. Just drop it in the dock and it's good to go. So that's why I absolutely love having a second dock. Absolutely worth it. You get a second power cable with it too if you just want to take the power cable from it. Yeah, I love this thing. Very much worth the investment to get a second dock. Next up, I have the PDP wireless GameCube controller, the purple version, which is the version you want to get because that's the color the GameCube is known to be. I absolutely love this controller. It's PDP controller. The PDP is the only third-party controller company that I believe can turn on the system. They took the GameCube controller, made it pretty much exact, with the exception of I think the trigger buttons are a little bit smaller, and the D-pad they made a little bit larger, a little bit better. I really like this controller. It's awesome for Smash Brothers. It's awesome for Mario Kart. Hopefully one day, if they port Wind Waker to the system, it'll be awesome for that. Yeah. Love this controller, and pick it up if you can. Okay, next I have an accessory which actually isn't a Nintendo Switch accessory. It's a Wii U accessory, and that is the GameCube controller adapter for the Wii U. This is a third-party one, and the reason I'm showing it in this video is it actually works with the Switch. The Wii U GameCube controller adapters work with the Switch. So you can play Smash Brothers with this guy, you can play Mario Kart with this guy, you just gotta plug it in, it turns your controllers into wired controllers. And it's great when you want to play those 8-player Smash battles and you don't have enough controllers. Next up, I have my charging stand. It is made by, I think that's Ovio. This thing, I actually bought it. It's pretty well built. It seems like it's a well-built system. You can hook up 2 sets of Joy-Cons and plug in a Pro Controller / other controller that'll fit in USB-C. The main reason I bought it was because of the head. I said those NES Online controllers, the battery dies, so I figured, okay, if it fits Joy-Con, it should fit the NES Online controllers. When I was wrong. It has this rim of plastic here, which keeps the NES Online controllers from sliding on perfectly. I'm wondering if I go with a Dremel or something, if I can hollow it down and make it a little bit deeper so the NES controllers can connect if it'll work. It's nice. It's got a face here, which it's got all the controllers, pictures of controllers, and when they're charged, they'll be green, but while they're charging, they'll be red, which is kind of cool. Gives you an indication when it's charged, when it's not charged. So this thing's pretty good. I recommend it. Like I said, it doesn't fit the NES Online controllers, which is the main reason why I bought it, but at least it keeps all my other stuff charged. Next up, I have my PDP Light Up Dock Shield. Now this thing is cool. You plug it in the USB port, and essentially it's got these plates that light up. I have the Zelda one in, which is my preferred plate. It also comes with the Super Mario Odyssey plate. And I've seen some guys on Etsy actually sell this. They sell plates for this. They make custom plates, so you can take a look at that if you want to look at that. This thing's pretty cool. You plug it in, there's all sorts of different colors. Just plugged right in the USB port in the side of the dock, and the dock sits on top, so it's pretty cool. And the last thing I have that I want to show is the 8BitDo SF30 Pro controller. Now, I love this controller for all of my side-scroller games for the Switch. It's the preferred way to play. Awesome D-pad, straight up. Mimic of the Super Famicom controller. I would have rather got the SN30 Pro controller, but this guy was on sale because they are a little bit pricey. I think they normally go for about 50 bucks, over 50 bucks, and I got this guy on sale for like 35. So I couldn't pass it up as opposed to spend that extra money and get the Super Nintendo controller. Yeah, I love this controller. It's awesome for the side-scroller games. It actually has all 4 trigger buttons. So you got both triggers and you got both shoulders. So this controller can be used for any game on the Switch. It's not lacking any buttons. It's got the home button, it's got the screenshot button, everything you need is on here. It's got analog sticks. Yeah. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this video of my Nintendo Switch accessories. If you like what you saw, hit like. If you dislike what you saw, hit dislike. Leave a comment if you can, and most importantly, don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you later.